Good morning, Happy New Year, and welcome back to Soul. It's our first episode of the year, so we are taking it back to basics and focusing on our souls and becoming our best selves to live our best life. Now, what's a new year without a new goal, right? Setting new goals for the new year is a wonderful way to embark on a journey of self-improvement and personal growth. Today, we are covering 7 focus areas across various aspects of life to inspire your New Year's resolutions. I hope you can take this away and sit by yourself or in a group and think about how you envision these will look like this year. Number 1, and that's a really important one, is your health and well-being. Now, sometimes people think of health and well-being and they automatically go to regular exercise, sign up to the gym, take up a new sport, practice yoga. And the truth is it absolutely is that. But there are additional things that I want you to start thinking about when you're looking at the focus area of health, well-being, wellness, etc. So of course, exercise is a very important one. But there are other things we need to think about, like prioritizing a balanced and nutritious diet, establishing a consistent sleep schedule. Things like practicing mindfulness, having daily journaling habits or different habits that are really going to be good for our mental health especially. Other things that you might want to start thinking about is perhaps setting boundaries on screen time when social media. Instead, use the time to foster healthier relationships, not only with people, but also with technology. One thing I recommend doing is maybe a digital detox. That is one of the areas that I will focus on when I'm looking at my focus area of health and well-being. And finally, and most importantly, it could be that seeking therapy or counseling to address and work through any emotional challenges is something that is now on your radar or part of your goals for this year. Number 2, we go into personal goals and development. This is where you can look at things like learning a new skill or a hobby. It could be coding, painting, a new language, reading a certain number of books. And it doesn't really have to be related to the number of books that you read, but it's something that you want to expand on, really expanding your knowledge. Could be attending workshops, executing travel plans, some adventures with your friends instead of just talking about them, and maybe just trying new activities or experiences like new cuisine or an adventure sport. Number 3 is our career and professional growth. Now, it's important to divide those so that you can focus on your health as something that is 100% focus area, your personal development, but then also your professional development. Start by setting career-related goals. It could be that you want to obtain a certification for your role. You want to pursue further education, aiming for a promotion, improve time management, redo your entire Outlook or calendar, color coding, just to be able to track things a little bit better. Number 4 is financial goals. While somewhat related to your career and professional goals, it's also important to divide these because we're not only looking at things between our 9 to 5, or if you have more flexible hours between that time period or that flexible period where you're working through your career, but rather something that is consistent, whether in your professional or in your personal life. Now, this could look like creating a budget or having a savings plan, aiming to pay off debts that you've got, or create a plan to reduce these systematically. It could also be that you want to invest in your financial education, or also invest altogether if you are already quite literate when it comes to financial literacy. Number 5 is relationship building. Now, this is an interesting one because people assume that, well, that's not really something I need to have a goal for. That's something that's just always there. I'm always, going to see my friends on the weekend. But what we're trying to do is, because we're trying to get back in touch with our soul and live our best life, is just make sure that we are doing this intentionally and actually being very mindful when we're doing this. And that looks like prioritizing quality time with loved ones, maybe even scheduling family or friend gatherings. I think I may have mentioned this before, but me and my cousin, we have an 8-hour difference. She's in Vancouver. I'm in London, not London, Ontario, but London, England. And so we try to schedule these lunch dates for her, dinner dates for me, so that we can make sure that whether it's half an hour, sometimes we've got more time, we can just always be in touch with each other. Something else is maybe just strengthening your communication skills when it comes to your professional or personal relationships, right? So the thing with relationship building is we're no longer just looking at our friends, right? It could also be with your managers. It could be you want to network, you want to really expand and work on your communication and thrive in that area of relationships. The other really important thing in relationship building is also taking a few things a bit less seriously so that it's easier to apologize, it's easier to forgive, and it's easier to foster healthier connections. And we underestimate how important this is, but think back and think about maybe a friend that you haven't spoken to in a while, or it could be you had a conflict with someone at work, and we really want to take time this year to really work through this. Number 6 is where we go into the community and social impact. I'm someone who works in sustainability, so for me, social impact is something that's incredibly important, but it is something that I invite you to look into as well. That could be volunteering for a cause. Maybe you are very into running and you love doing marathons, and it could be great to do one that's for charity, right? Could be you're passionate about volunteering and want to commit a certain number of hours per month to do something. It could be joining a local community organization or a club to connect with like-minded individuals, right? It doesn't need to be development or charity oriented. It could also be that you want to join a book club. That's part of building this community. Other things, of course, that have to do with community and social impact is on the environmental side. Maybe improving your environmental and climate literacy is something that's on your agenda for this year. And finally, number 7, one that we always repeat over and over again, is gratitude and positivity. We're not just talking about it, but really we want to action this. Whether it's starting a gratitude journal, practicing positive affirmations, feel free to come here on Sundays and listen to the ones that we've got, or just surrounding yourself with positivity and limiting exposure to negative influences. Very importantly, remind yourself that it's not about toxic positivity. It's about mindfully and purposefully trying to shift our mindsets. Remember to tailor these ideas to your personal preferences and circumstances. Everything from health and well-being, personal goals and development, career and professional growth, financial goals, relationship building, community and social impact, and gratitude and positivity. It's also beneficial to break down larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks, so make sure that you track your progress throughout the year. I'll be here to help you. Happy goal setting. Remember, step by step, day by day. Thank you for joining me. Happy New Year, and see you next week on Soul.